The last rain. The rain began on a Tuesday, not the gentle patter of spring showers or the dramatic downpours of summer storms, but something entirely different. The droplets fell heavy and deliberate, each one leaving tiny craters in the soil where they landed. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from the window of her atmospheric research station in Colorado as the strange precipitation covered the landscape, her instruments screaming with readings that defied explanation. "This isn't natural," she muttered, examining the data streaming across her monitors. The rain's molecular structure was unlike anything recorded in Earth's history. Each droplet contained microscopic machines, perfectly engineered to alter whatever they touched. Within hours, every weather station on the planet was reporting the same phenomenon. The rain didn't stop. It didn't even slow. Rivers swelled beyond their banks, valleys became lakes, and coastal cities watched as the seas began to rise with unnatural speed. That's when they appeared. Massive ships, dark against the perpetual storm clouds, hovering silently above major population centers. Their design defied conventional physics. Organic curves melded with crystalline structures that pulsed with internal light. Humanity's first contact with alien life came not with a message of peace or a declaration of war, but with the methodical drowning of their world. The military response was swift and utterly ineffective. Missiles evaporated before reaching their targets. Fighter jets lost power and plunged into the rising waters. The aliens, dubbed Hydros by the media, seemed less interested in fighting than in continuing their relentless terraforming of Earth. General Maya Patel stood in the Pentagon's Emergency Command Center, watching as blue consumed the global tactical display. "We've lost the entire eastern seaboard," an aide reported, his voice tight with exhaustion. "Pacific coastal cities are going dark one by one. Conservative estimates give us 2 weeks before all current landmasses are submerged." But humans, as they had done countless times before, began to adapt. As governments collapsed and millions flowed inland, a plan emerged from an unlikely alliance of aerospace engineers, marine architects, and climate adaptation specialists. If the Earth would become an ocean, humanity would not drown. They would learn to fly. In the Rocky Mountains, now an archipelago of peaks rising from newly formed seas, the first aerial city took shape. Massive platforms supported by advanced lighter-than-air technology, powered by hydrogen extracted from the endless water below. Dr. Chen found herself at the heart of this effort, her expertise in atmospheric science proving crucial to the city's survival. "The Hydros aren't trying to kill us," she explained to General Patel during a crisis meeting aboard the floating city. "If they wanted us dead, they could have done it instantly. This is something else. They're transforming Earth, but for what purpose?" The answer began to take shape 6 months into the flooding. Deep-sea monitoring stations, hastily modified to study the alien water, detected something growing in the depths. Vast networks of crystalline structures, similar to the material of the hydro ships, spreading across the ocean floor like digital coral reefs. "They're not just flooding us," Chen realized, examining the seafloor scans. "They're building something down there, using our planet as raw material for some kind of massive transformation." The first year ended with humanity divided between the growing network of aerial cities and hastily constructed orbital habitats. Below them, Earth had become almost unrecognizable, a water world under perpetual clouds, with only the highest mountain peaks still breaking the surface. But in the labs and workshops of the aerial cities, humans were doing what they did best: adapting, innovating, and preparing to fight back. Dr. Chen's team had finally managed to decode some of the alien nanotechnology in the rain, while military engineers developed new weapons designed to work in this transformed world. As Chen stood at the window of her new laboratory, watching the endless ocean below, she caught a glimpse of something massive moving beneath the waves, a shadow larger than any sea creature that had ever existed on Earth. The Hydros hadn't just brought the flood, they had brought something else, something that was only now beginning to awaken in the depths of humanity's drowned world. And in that moment, she understood. The flooding wasn't the end of the invasion. It was only the beginning. Above the waves, 1 year into what historians now called the deluge, humanity had achieved what many thought impossible. A network of 27 aerial cities drifted through Earth's perpetual storm clouds, housing millions of survivors. These massive platforms, each the size of a pre-flood metropolis, had become mankind's last bastions of civilization. The largest of these, New Atlantis, hung above what was once the Rocky Mountains. Its vast solar arrays stretched like silvery wings through the clouds, while beneath its reinforced base, massive hydrogen extractors drew power from the endless ocean below. Dr. Sarah Chen had watched it grow from a desperate concept to humanity's greatest achievement. "The hydros are moving again," General Patil announced during the morning briefing. The command center's holographic display showed the alien ships still hovering in their silent vigil above Earth's new oceans. They're congregating over the former Pacific Basin. Chen studied the patterns, noting how the crystalline vessels seemed to dance in complex geometric formations. "They're coordinating with something in the deep," she said. "Look at how their movements mirror the growth patterns we've detected on the seafloor." The underwater structures have become a source of constant concern. What had started as simple crystalline formations had evolved into vast networks of unknown purpose, spreading across the ocean floor like digital roots. More disturbing were the energy signatures they emitted, pulses that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space-time. Commander James Caddo, leader of the newly formed Aquanaut Corps, stepped forward. His weathered face reflected the toll of countless deep-sea reconnaissance missions. "My teams have found something new," he reported, uploading fresh data to the display. "The structures aren't just growing. They're starting to move, and they're reaching upward." A hologram shifted, showing massive crystalline towers rising from the depths, their architecture an impossible blend of organic and geometric forms. At their bases, strange creatures moved, not quite mechanical, not quite biological, but something in between. "They're terraforming the ocean itself," Chen realized, "creating an ecosystem we don't understand, for beings we can't comprehend." But humanity wasn't idle in the face of this transformation. In the research labs of New Atlantis, Chen's team had made breakthroughs in understanding the alien nanotechnology that powered the endless rain. They had even managed to reverse engineer some of its principles, leading to new technologies that helped the aerial cities thrive. The military had adapted as well. The Aquanaut Corps, equipped with advanced diving suits that could withstand enormous pressures, regularly ventured into the depths to gather intelligence. Surface skimmers, fast attack craft that could operate in any weather, patrolled the spaces between cities. And in orbital shipyards, humanity was building something the hydros hadn't anticipated, a fleet capable of taking the fight to them. "We've confirmed what we suspected," Chen reported to the Emergency Council. "The rain isn't just water. It's a delivery system for programmable matter. The hydros are using it to rewrite Earth's basic chemistry, but we've learned to intercept and modify their commands." General Patil leaned forward, her eyes sharp. "Can we use this against them?" "Better," Chen replied. "We can use it to protect ourselves, maybe even to communicate." But before she could elaborate, alarms blared throughout New Atlantis. The city's sensors had detected something massive rising from the depths. Not a hydrostructure this time, but something else, something alive. Commander Caddo's voice crackled over the emergency channel. "All cities, be advised. We've got movement across all sectors. Whatever the hydros have been building down there, it's waking up." As the thing breached the surface, its vast form blotting out the permanent twilight of the storm clouds, humanity faced a terrifying revelation. The hydros hadn't just been transforming Earth's surface, they had been incubating something in its depths, something that was now ready to emerge. The depths below, the creature that rose from the depths defied description. Its body was a shifting maze of crystalline structures and organic matter, pulsing with the same otherworldly energy that powered the hydro ships. But what struck Dr. Chen wasn't its size or its impossible biology. It was the feeling of intelligence radiating from it, ancient and alien. "It's not attacking," General Potel observed from New Atlantis' command center, watching as the entity hung suspended between sea and sky. Similar beings were emerging across Earth's oceans, each one larger than any living thing in Earth's history. "They're not weapons," Chen said, her voice barely a whisper. "They're transformers, living machines designed to reshape entire planets. The Hydros aren't invaders, they're terraformers." Commander Keto's Aquanaut team had managed to get close to one of the entities, their advanced suits allowing them to gather detailed scans. The data they sent back confirmed Chen's theory and revealed something even more startling. "These beings aren't just reshaping Earth," Chen explained to the Emergency Council. "They're trying to communicate with it. The crystalline networks they've built, they're not just structures. They're a nervous system. They're turning our planet into some kind of living computer." The revelation sparked a desperate race. While the giant entities continued their mysterious work, humanity launched its most daring mission yet. Operation Deep Dive would send a specially modified vessel into the heart of the crystalline network, carrying a team of Earth's brightest minds. Dr. Chen found herself aboard this vessel, the Nautilus, along with Commander Keto and a hand-picked crew of scientists and special forces operators. The ship itself was a triumph of human engineering, designed to withstand crushing pressures while incorporating reverse-engineered hydrotechnology. As they descended into the abyss, the true scale of the alien transformation became clear. The ocean floor had become an endless forest of crystal spires, each one pulsing with data and energy. Between them moved swarms of smaller entities, tending to the network like digital coral. "Look at this," Dr. Maya Santos, the team's xenobiologist, called out. Her instruments had detected something unexpected in the crystal structures. "These formations, they're not just processing data. They're storing memories, Earth's memories." The truth began to dawn on them. The Hydros weren't trying to destroy Earth, they were trying to preserve it. Every piece of data about Earth's biosphere, every species, every ecosystem, was being encoded into the crystalline network. "But why?" Kato asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. The answer came in a way none of them expected. As they navigated through the crystal forest, their ship's systems suddenly interfaced with the network. Images flooded their screens, not just of Earth, but of countless other worlds. Each one showed the same pattern. Oceans rising, crystals growing, great entities emerging. "They're building an archive," Chen realized, "a living backup of Earth's entire biosphere. But what are they protecting us from?" The answer arrived with devastating clarity. The Nautilus's sensors detected a massive energy surge from deep space, a wave of radiation that would have sterilized Earth's surface if it weren't for the protective layer of engineered water and clouds now enveloping the planet. "That's why they came," Santos breathed. They knew this was coming. The flood, the transformation, it wasn't an invasion. It was an evacuation plan. But as this revelation sank in, alarms began blaring throughout the Nautilus. Something was wrong with the crystalline network. The radiation wave had triggered a change in the giant entities. They were beginning to move with new purpose, and the ocean itself was starting to churn with unprecedented energy. The Hydros plan to save Earth was entering its final phase, and humanity would have to decide quickly, resist and potentially doom their planet, or find a way to work with these alien saviors to ensure Earth's survival, even if it meant becoming something entirely new in the process. Rising tide. The Nautilus erupted from the depths, racing toward New Atlantis with its crucial information. As Dr. Chen and her team transmitted their findings, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet, not just survival, but evolution. "The radiation wave will hit Earth in less than 72 hours, Chen explained to the Emergency Council, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. "The Hydros water shield will protect the surface, but their transformation protocol wasn't designed for a species like us. We need to adapt their plan. Fast." General Patel studied the data with growing concern. These entities they've created, they're not just transformers. They're arcs meant to preserve Earth's biosphere through the coming storm. But where do humans fit in their equation? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Santos had managed to establish a rudimentary interface with the crystalline network, allowing for basic communication with the hydros. Their response was both fascinating and terrifying. They'd done this thousands of times, Santos reported, her eyes fixed on streams of alien data. Different worlds, different species, but they've never encountered a civilization at our level of development. Advanced enough to understand their purpose, but not advanced enough to survive the radiation on our own. The next 48 hours saw humanity demonstrate its greatest strength, the ability to innovate under impossible pressure. Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock, combining human technology with insights gained from the Hydro's crystalline network. The plan that emerged was audacious. Instead of simply accepting the Hydro's preservation protocol, humanity would modify it. The aerial cities would be transformed into massive interface nodes, allowing their inhabitants to sync with the crystalline network while maintaining their independence. We're not going to just survive in their system, Chen announced to the council. We're going to enhance it, make it better, make it ours. Commander Keto's aquanauts began the dangerous work of modifying the crystal structures, while engineers in the orbital shipyards repurposed their weapons into massive energy collectors. The Hydros, recognizing humanity's initiative, began adjusting their own protocols to accommodate these changes. But time was running out. The first tendrils of the radiation wave began to interfere with communications. The giant entities, the arcs, started moving into position around the globe, their crystalline bodies realigning to form a vast, interconnected network. In New Atlantis, Dr. Chen worked frantically with her team to complete the human interface system. The technology they'd developed would allow humanity to maintain their consciousness and identity within the crystalline network, becoming part of Earth's new nervous system while remaining distinctly human. This isn't an ending, Chen told General Patul as they watched the final preparations. It's a metamorphosis. Humanity isn't being erased. We're becoming something more. The massive entities rose higher, their bodies creating a lattice that stretched from the ocean floor to the upper atmosphere. The aerial cities moved into position among them, their newly installed crystal arrays pulsing in sync with the alien network. As the radiation wave approached, casting a violet glow across Earth's storm-wrapped surface, humanity prepared for its greatest transformation. They had taken an alien rescue plan and made it their own, refusing to simply be saved. They would be partners in their world's rebirth. The crystalline network hummed with increasing power, and in New Atlantis, Dr. Chen initiated the interface sequence. Across the globe, millions of humans prepared to enter a new phase of existence, their consciousness about to merge with Earth's new digital nervous system. The radiation wave was minutes away, but humanity wasn't afraid. They had done what they did best, adapted, innovated, and turned a crisis into an opportunity. They would survive not as victims or refugees, but as architects of their own evolution. New waters. The wave hit with the force of 1,000 suns. The ocean boiled at the surface, steam rising to join the eternal storm clouds. But beneath the waters, protected by layers of engineered liquid and crystal, Earth's transformed biosphere not only survived, it thrived. The merging of human consciousness with the crystalline network created something unprecedented. A hybrid system that combined human creativity and innovation with the vast processing power of the Hydro's living computer. Dr. Chen was among the first to experience the transformation, her mind expanding to encompass both individual awareness and a connection to the vast digital ocean that Earth had become. It's beautiful, her thoughts echoed through the network, reaching every human consciousness now linked to the system. We haven't lost our humanity. We've expanded it. The Hydros themselves seemed fascinated by what humanity had achieved. Their original protocol had been designed to preserve species in stasis, but humans had transformed it into something dynamic and evolving. Through the crystal network, They began to share knowledge of other worlds and civilizations they had saved, each one preserved in its own unique way. General Patel, her consciousness now able to monitor Earth's entire defensive network simultaneously, discovered that the radiation wave was no natural phenomenon. It was the aftermath of a cosmic war, fought between civilizations so advanced they used entire galaxies as battlegrounds. The Hydros were custodians, preserving life throughout the universe from the fallout of these conflicts. As Earth's transformed biosphere stabilized, humanity began to explore their new existence. The crystal cities they created under the waves were marvels of hybrid architecture, combining organic growth with engineered precision. The giant entities, the arcs, had become living interfaces between the physical and digital realms, allowing humans to shift between forms as needed. Commander Cato led the first expedition beyond Earth's atmosphere using their new capabilities. His consciousness, housed in a crystalline vessel of his own design, discovered that the transformation had given humanity the ability to survive in the harshest environments. The stars, finally, were within reach. Dr. Santos made perhaps the most profound discovery. The crystalline network wasn't just preserving Earth's present, it had archived its entire history. Through the digital ocean, humans could access the memories of their world from its very formation, experiencing billions of years of evolution and change. We thought the Hydros were drowning our world, Chen reflected, her consciousness spanning both her human form in New Atlantis and her digital presence in the network. Instead, they helped us take the next step in our evolution. We're not just survivors now, we're pioneers. 5 years after the transformation, Earth had become something unprecedented in the Hydro's long history of preservation. The oceans still covered the planet, but they were alive with human innovation. Crystal cities glowed in the depths, their designs constantly evolving as humanity explored the full potential of their new existence. The surface storms had calmed, revealing skies filled with floating structures that merged biological and digital technologies. But perhaps most importantly, humanity had maintained what made them unique: their drive to explore, to innovate, to push boundaries. The Hydros had given them the tools for survival, but humans had transformed those tools into instruments of thriving. The alien ships still orbited Earth, but no longer as distant observers. They had become partners in an unprecedented experiment, watching as humanity took their preservation protocol and turned it into something new. Through the Crystal Network, humans began reaching out to other preserved worlds, sharing their innovations, learning from ancient civilizations, and preparing for the day when the galaxy would be safe enough for all preserved worlds to awaken. Dr. Chen stood in her physical form at the edge of New Atlantis, looking out over the endless ocean that Earth had become. Above her, the storm clouds parted to reveal stars untouched by the radiation wave, protected by their water shield. Below, the crystal cities glowed with the combined light of human and hydro technology. And through the network, she could feel the pulse of Earth's new consciousness, not just surviving, but evolving, growing, reaching for something greater. The Hydros had come to save Earth from drowning in radiation. Instead, they had helped humanity learn to swim in the infinite depths of possibility. Earth's oceans had become not just a shelter, but a cradle for humanity's next great adventure. And somewhere in the vast network of preserved worlds, other civilizations were taking notice. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had shown that adaptation could lead to transformation, that endings could become beginnings. The waters that were meant to drown them had become the medium of their rebirth. The story of Earth's flooding would be told across the galaxy, not as a tale of defeat, but as a testament to humanity's greatest strength, the ability to take what seems like doom and transform it into destiny.